Hello and welcome to this new edition of the Fuji podcast. Our next stop of the virtual world tour visiting Java user groups is in the Philippines.
Welcome to the Fuji podcast, all your news about OpenJDK.
Once a month we talk about the history of a JUG and the people behind it. Today we travel to the Philippines. A new generation of developers has taken over the organization of the JUG. And in addition, they are also involved in the organization of the Softcon conference. Let's talk about the history and future of the Java community in the Philippines.
I'm Tristan Mahinay. I'm one of the JUG leaders in the Java User Group Philippines. And besides from the community effort, I'm also a consultant for IBM. And then I'm doing also some open source project like contributing to Quarkus. Aside from the Java user group, I'm also like to get to gym to have a fit body.
Hi, I'm Calen Legaspi. I was part of the co-founders of Pinoy JUG, which is a bit older than JUG PH. It was started in 2001. It grew to about 2,000 members, but most of the members got old, so and busy. So Tristan and his team with JUG PH are much more active now. I also on in 2005 I started my own consulting firm, Orange and Broad Software Labs. We specialized very early on in Spring as well as agile transformation. I'm also on the board of the Philippine Software Industry Association, which organizes the annual Softcon conference among its other activities.
Hi, I'm Jansen. I've been a Java developer for more than 5 years. As one of the leaders of the Java User Group Philippines, I help in organizing meetups, securing partnerships with other communities, and building the group's initial website, and also managing the social media channels and sourcing merchandise. I'm not officially a contributor yet, but I've recently been working to add improvements in LangChain for JLibrary, which is the Java version of the popular library LangChain.
I'm Kerby Martino. Currently, I'm running a company that's not in IT right now, but it's a workspace like Regus and WeWork, flexible workspace. But prior to that, I had a company which is a software development company. And then from there, I had this idea of creating JUG PH. And then after that, years after, I met with Tristan, and from there, he managed to push forward the initiatives of JUG VH. I'm a Java programmer as well. Been doing software development for many years before I transitioned to running businesses.
Thanks a lot. And I'm Frank Delporte, technical writer at Azul, and making the Fuji podcast just because I want to learn more about Java and the whole community around it. Let's look first at the Java community in the Philippines. How big is it? Is it an active community also?
For the Java user group community in the Philippines, I think the one that is still active is the one we created with Kerby, the Java user group Philippines, and the one that Calen said, Pinoy Jug. I think it's still active, right? Calen as
There's um it could be better.
yeah. Yeah, I think we are the one being active, and we already got confirmation from Oracle itself. I think we are in dev.java website that we are listed as the active one. And we have this active partnership this October 28th with Samsung Open Conference, which will be held at University of the Philippines. We will be there with Kerby and Jansen, and I think we will talk about data intelligence or
Mhm.
AI. So yeah, we are active, very active right now, and yeah, my vision is to be consistent with it and learn more with other Java developers here in the Philippines. And since the Java here in the Philippines is a very broad, yeah, most of the companies here, enterprises here, uses Java as their primary back end language.
Karen, you said you can share a bit about the history of
Mhm.
Java community in the Philippines.
Java in the Philippines has been around quite a while. Like I said, we started in 2001, and then we were really we were quite active. We got to a point we were meeting more than more than once a week. Even there was the main meeting, and
Mhm.
there was certain special interest groups like those studying for certification, and I guess we were eager to discuss things because we didn't have stack overflow and all these other things and there weren't as many YouTube videos available as there are today. So we were eager to meet. There were a lot of new things, especially this new movement called Agile. We're talking about things like test-driven development and design patterns and continuous integration.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it was an exciting the early 2000s. That was an exciting time to be a Java developer.
Mhm. But I guess now we have come to a new area of being exciting times with the big evolutions in Java. How do you integrate this in the JUG? Do you specialize on evolutions in Java, or are you still also looking into development practices like Agile?
So yeah, I think it should be both the Java itself and then some best practices and software coding approaches. Yeah, so I think it will be the good one since we have younger population here in the Philippines.
Mhm.
So maybe we can start with that, with the best practices, and then yeah, just integrate the Java features that is included now in the Java versions.
Mhm. I guess you also had some impact of COVID and not being able anymore to have physical events that you come together. Did that also have a big impact on your side?
This year is the first time that we had a meetup for the JUG PH. This
Mhm.
the 2023. We decided to have when I talked to Kerby last time. We decided to start this initiative to have a meetup by I think bi-monthly. Yeah, that was my plan to have a bi-monthly meetup. Mostly in the office of ONB. Yeah,
Mhm.
so thanks to Calen for that. Mm.
You mentioned before, so you have the JUG, but you also have the Softcon conference that's coming up. So we are recording this podcast on the 16th of October. We will broadcast it later after the conference. How are these related, the JUG and the conference?
Well, the conference has been going on. I can't even remember what's the first time. Maybe 2011 or something like that. So it's been it evolved quite a bit. For the Java speakers, I turned to the Java user groups for speakers in Java, as well as my own personal network. And but of course, it's not just a Java conference. We have people from who specialize in say .NET or JavaScript frameworks. We have speakers that specialize in testing. There's discussions on architecture. There's been quite a few talks on machine learning. There's people who talk about coding practices that not necessarily limiting to a particular language, but
Mhm.
talking about clean code and test-driven development without really limiting themselves to a particular language. So, yeah, it's a pretty broad conference, right? Of course, we need sponsors, but we try to be impartial to any specific vendor, right? It's also a conference. A lot of the tech conferences here tend to cater to students, right? So this one we're trying to cater to professionals. The breakouts they're volunteers from the community, very community driven, right? We we don't pay any speakers to if they
Mhm.
come over, we'll give them a free dinner and buy them some beers. But other than that, it's community driven.
Mhm. it's also online. So, am I correct? 2 days online, 1 day in the
Uh,
university?
no, not university. It's in one of the hotels
Hmm.
for the main
Yeah,
conference.
yeah, yeah.
And then the breakouts will be online.
Hmm. What is the experience of this mixed environment of people joining online and at the venue?
Obviously, interaction is different when we did face to face conferences. As a speaker, it was more intimidating. I personally don't like crowds and I don't like eye contact, but I have to do it. There were certainly more. There were more active questions. There was discussions after the breakout sessions. Here, it's a little challenging. The organizing group that we hired does a good job. They have these online discussion rooms after, like,
Hmm.
if say, so a speaker would say, hey, if you guys want to continue this discussion, just log into this particular room, just find me in this room. So those have been, so it's good. Softcon, at least the online experience, the group we hired are using some technologies to try to at least facilitate more interaction, but of course
Hmm.
it's not the same.
We are recording this before the conference, so we cannot share yet about how the experience was.
Right,
Is
right.
everything prepared? Because, yeah, it's in 1 week.
I'm just in charge of finding the speakers. So for the logistics and everything. So so far we pulled it. We pulled it off every year. So I'm sure everybody else is already set on their parts.
Mhm. From the past events you had with the JUG, are there some events that really pop out because they were really remarkable or something went completely wrong? That's also a possibility.
For the best session, I think it will be really the kickoff. So the one with Simon Ritter. So it ignites the Java developers to have a meetup again. And then for the worst, I think for me there is no worst, but maybe a session that can be improved on. So I think I'm planning to have more of the younger ones to get involved to Java's meetup sessions. So I think there is a notion for Java that it will be just for older people and young people cannot really indulge with this language. But I'm planning and have a vision to have a more conversation with the younger people
Mhm.
based on Java sessions.
Do you try to involve younger people and new speakers so that they become a speaker themselves?
Right now we are still ongoing on that, but I know some people that can help us and some volunteers that I think I have one volunteer. His name was Eric, and he was also my coworker. And I'm planning to have a sync with him on how we will indulge our younger or university students to the Java meetup sessions.
Hmm. Is Java one of the languages that is taught at universities in the Philippines?
Less and less. I'm on the technical committee for computer science. I'm one of three people that oversee the conduct of computer science in, um, recommending curricula and the other aspects of the conduct of computer science. A lot of the better schools are teaching Python.
Hmm.
So it used to be when I conduct training for fresh grads, because my company does a lot of Java training. I could assume that they'd already have a good level, a good foundation in Java, but some schools often have little to no Java training. So what's happened is there was a time almost every school would teach, well, the better schools. The schools that aren't so good, they're stuck in, I don't know, whatever language. I think they're still using C for, which is not a bad language to learn from.
Hmm.
Um, but most grads now, they're most of from the better schools, they're strongest with Python, not so much with Java. Maybe second JavaScript after that.
And is Python, does it get pushed because of machine learning, artificial intelligence? Do you think that has some kind of an influence?
I think it's because it's the easiest language to introduce programming. So it's accessible as an intro language.
Yeah. So maybe we as a Java community have some more things to do there and promote Java even more also for education and young students.
As a trainer and educator myself, because I also teach at one of the universities, I think it's good that the intro language is something that doesn't have so many things, so many, you have to create a class in the main method just to produce output, right? Of course, for their professional, uh, to give the grads an advantage professionally, I think the schools that still include Java in their curriculum do provide an advantage for their graduates.
Okay. Back to the JUG. What are the plans for the next sessions and the next year?
The next one will be on November, I think on at ONB again. And then I think Calen will have some speakers that he knows. And I'm also like invite Jansen. I think Jansen will have we'll talk about some Java plus AI on November. Yeah. And then for the next year, yeah, just continuing searching for partners and then to be consistent with the bi-monthly meetup.
Jansen, can you share a bit about the topic that you will talk about?
Yeah, I'll talk about LangChain 4J, which was currently I'm contributing to, but I'm not officially yet a contributor, but I've been working to add some improvements. And basically, it's a Java version of LangChain. It's an LLM orchestration framework where you can utilize ChatGPT to work with your Java applications. So yeah, I'll share it in our next meetup.
You're talking about LangChain. I was at Devox this month in Antwerp, and I saw a presentation by Lise Raas. That was really an amazing presentation. This really looks like machine learning and ChatGPT like functions coming to Java, correct?
Yep, I think Lisa Rice did a great job in presenting LangChain 4J at Devox recently. So I'm aiming to add more details aside from what was discussed before.
I will add a link to her presentation to this show notes of this podcast because it's really a very nice library, and I think there are a lot of great examples there which are available for any Java programmer who wants to do the stuff that many people do now with Python. Is that a bit the
Yeah.
goal to be able to do the exact same things very easily in Java?
Yep. We felt that, all these other language communities like Python are thriving right now because, Python is really related to machine learning or AI. So we see really a boost in Python with machine learning. So I think it's for Java developers, we also need to use Java to promote Java in using it for machine learning and AI as well.
At Devox, there were a lot of talks about machine learning, artificial intelligence. Is that a bit the same thing for Softcon? Will there also be a lot of AI-inspired talks?
Yeah, there should be a good number. I saw that I did approve a good number that was. We've always had talks related to that topic. I just imagine this year there'd be quite a number related to large language models specifically, or using those.
We're all doing Java development here. Are you afraid of your job with
Uh,
ChatGPT around the corner?
no, no. It's actually something I encourage. We're currently in the process of evaluating the right plugin for our IDEs because, of course, we need to make sure that we don't introduce maybe like our the code generated doesn't introduce GPL code into our client, or
Mhm.
it doesn't leak our client code into the wild, right? But so we're evaluating, but it's something. It's not going to. It's obviously not going to get rid of good Java developers' job. It's going to get rid of the Java developers that just generate getters and setters, and they do things without really thinking much about their work. But
Mhm.
it will free devs from the little things, and it will allow them to be more strategic in their thinking.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this new age of just conversing with your IDE.
Mhm.
So just a while ago, I was already telling for writing test cases. I don't even have to. A lot of times, even the scenarios, I don't even have to type out the scenarios. I just type out the method name, and
Mhm.
it starts suggesting all the scenarios I should have for my test method.
I also saw some demos at Devox that they are using ChatGPT-like conversation with the code in IntelliJ, I think it was, to explain existing code. So if you're a
Mm.
developer joining a team and you find a method which is not really explained or documented, that it can help you to understand existing code.
JetBrains had already a tool for that. Yeah,
Mhm.
they have the built-in AI assistant tool to have an built-in explanation on the code. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
think it is in pilot stage.
yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was the one
So
that they were showing. Yes.
I think GitHub also has one. I think they're launching a way for your code base to be analyzed by AI. Actually, I'm in the wait list already. Really interesting how AI is gonna change.
Yeah, it's gonna change how we quote, and it also change a bit of the content of the jugs. I think there will be a lot of talks about this topic. Practically, how the Philippine jug. So, how can people subscribe to your event, or can they follow you? You're on Meetup.
Yeah, that's correct. We are on Meetup. Our primary was the Facebook, but now for our Meetup sessions, we publish it to the Meetup website. And then I think we are already 270 members
Hmm.
since April 2023. So yeah, I think it will be increased on 2024 and targeting the Facebook membership from, I think we are now on 842 and targeting it to 1,000 at the end of this year.
Hmm. And how
Yeah.
many people join your events in average?
So we plan it for 30 people, but the average is from 20 to 25.
That's a bit the numbers I hear from a lot of jugs, and definitely after COVID,
Mhm.
when people work from home a lot, and it's more difficult to get people to get them out of their house and come to the jug. You think that will be a problem for you too, that people work from home and are not so interested anymore to join a physical event?
So the solution that we had is to have a hybrid setup. So we had a Zoom call meeting together with the on-site participants during
Mhm.
the Java session.
But I think you agree that the activity around the talk is much more important sometimes than the talk itself. Meeting other people and talking about problems you have at work, problems you have with Java, or just ideas you have to experiment with. Having the
Mm.
social events after the talk, is that also important on your side?
Quite a bit it's important, but we need to consider also the logistics part and the environment that we had here also in our country in the Philippines. Since
Hmm.
we need to consider the traffic also here. So that's
Hmm.
why most of the participants are online. But yeah, they're still very active and chatting us through the Zoom chat and very interested to the topic that we presented.
Okay, great. Organizing a jug can be quite challenging. It takes some time from your work or private time. Why are you actually involved in the organization? What is your goal of organizing the jug?
In my personal opinion, maybe Kirby and Jansen will have later. But
Hmm.
for me, I think I have an initiative to let the people know how to be involved in tech. And my solution for that, since I'm already involved using Java, is to use the Java sessions so that people can have this initial goal or initial like a startup to be involved in the job in the tech community. Yeah, it's more about how will they be involved and how they will contribute. And also it will be an opportunity to them since the job opportunities for tech is big and promising. And yeah, looking forward for them to be involved in the IT or tech industry.
Jansen, for you, what is your engagement in the JUG and the
Well,
reason?
I aim to unite Filipino Java developers, be they students, professionals, or aspiring coders, into a cohesive community focused on knowledge sharing and networking, because we've observed a decline in the Java meetups in the Philippines, and just suggesting that our language community is falling behind compared to others where meetups are thriving.
Okay, and Kirby?
Yeah, so my motivation for JUG is, at first, is my goal is to hopefully help uh Java programmers find each other, like have a community where we can find other programmers, because as we know, like Java's been like dubbed as, or thought of like programming language for the old one. So I was thinking, like, if we could if we could build a community that could showcase like people like any generation can collaborate. Even companies like looking for programmers, Java programmers, they can also use our community for their hiring, for their people looking. So it's like a place where we really want people not just to collaborate with other programmers, but also have this kind of opportunity for them to be engaged in actual companies that are in need of programmers, Java programmers specifically.
Hmm.
So that's basically my initial motivation for that. And then after that, discussing with other leaders of Java, yeah, we are also motivated to push forward the drug to more, for example, for students, and hopefully make the community more engaged.
Karen, I hear here that Java is old, but actually it's about the same age as Python, as JavaScript. They all were
Python's older,
born.
isn't it?
It's even older, yeah. They were all
Yeah.
born around the same time. How do you feel about the evolution of Java versus other languages?
Java has its place. Definitely, they. I've heard Java is the new COBOL, right? But the thing is, nobody's up to now. Nobody's been able to replace so much of the COBOL code.
Mm,
Of course, COBOL. It's hard to compare Java to COBOL because Java, especially in the last decade, has been rapidly evolving, while COBOL hasn't. So we've got the advantages of so much installed base, right? All the big companies, all the banks, the government, um, the insurance companies, they've all got so much Java installed, and then the technology's getting better. I had some. I was training for one of the digital banks. I was conducting training for some grads of the University of the Philippines, which is one of the top schools. Well, most of them are from the University of the
mm,
Philippines, and they don't have any Java anymore in in the University of the Philippines curriculum. So when they started working with Java, the tools, they were so impressed at the level of tooling that we had. It was an eye opener. The power, for lack of a better word, the power that's available to us, tooling, the performance, the features of the language and
mhm,
the platform. It was a huge eye opener for these
mhm,
grads. They came into the training thinking Java was this um, language that they wouldn't enjoy, but I think they were quickly very impressed with what was available to them.
I think it's not only the tooling, it's all the evolutions which are going on right now with the
Right.
6 month release cycle, the security updates 4 times a year. And I think one of the main reason of being Java so great is the community. And that you're able to reach out to people like I'm doing now and talking to you, and that you are organizing these events and get people interested in Java together and share their knowledge. Okay. Raymond?
Considering Java is dead, it's not so.
It's definitely not so.
It's not so bad considering it's dead. So
Yeah. Well, it has been declared that a few times in
yeah.
many years, so we just don't listen anymore. Okay, is there something I didn't ask and you want to mention?
To the global community, the Philippine Java community. It's a pretty big community. Maybe we're just now, thanks to the efforts of Tristan, Kirby, and Jansen, it's being woken up again because a lot of the early Java community, I think we now have our families and kids or businesses. So we're not as active in organizing JUG events, but it's a very strong community with a very strong senior leadership. A lot of the most critical software that's running the world is actually written in the Philippines.
Mhm.
And in general, the Philippine software community is a very old and mature software industry. We were doing software outsourcing back when we had to ship rolls of tape on airplanes to get them abroad. So it's been around it's a very very old industry. So we have strong leadership here. We have a strong community. So look, I'd like to invite the rest of the world to get to know the Philippine software community.
And invite him maybe as a speaker at your jug.
The JUG and in Softcon, not of course Softcon's not limited to Java, but speakers, it's definitely welcome. We'd love to interact with the global community.
Mhm. Anything else you want to add?
Right now, we are migrating our website, so it's kind of down. We decided to move forward with a pure Java solution since we're JUG after all. So we're going to rebuild our website in a way that's because right now the original website was designed in like more of events. So what we're planning is to make the website focus with community and also online community. We're trying we're going to build some kind of forum inside so people that are not able to chat with each other on Discord, so they could help each other. Because what I see is, in order for us to push forward with the community, is that it's not just about meetups, but also help us on our day to day work with Java, also with our projects. So that's our goal for the website and our online presence. And as part of that, I had this project that when we had this, I mentioned that I had this software company. We actually built our own hosting platform. It's like similar to Netlify, but it's like just a core version of that.
Mhm.
So it's purely written in Java. It's a hosting platform. It generates SSLs. It can host things. So I was when we tried to migrate our website from WordPress, I was kind of engaged to see if we could have a pure Java platform for running our JUG operations like websites, email, and everything. So kind of just a way for us to live up with our name as JUG.
Mhm.
So basically, that uh, what we're planning to do. Also, we're planning to because our leadership right now is kind of focused with technical technical activities. So I was thinking like maybe we could diversify, like maybe mainly focusing on the other aspects. Like I was thinking of doing um, to engage more the younger generation, which is we're planning to do some kind of giving doing some merch for them, like design something
Mhm.
that they could take during our events. At the same time, give our JUG a brand where people can remember uh, more and be more engaged on our
Mhm.
initiatives. So basically, those are the things to target the younger generations. As after all, the older communities of Java is kind of like me, it's kind of old and have families already. So maybe people are not really engaged to uh to this kind of event. So we tried in order for us to move forward with our plans. So we are going to do some things like that.
So that the JUG becomes a bit of a mentor for everyone who's interested in programming and want to learn more.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we want to have that online presence.
Mhm. Thank you, first of all, guests of this episode, and you for listening to this podcast. Keep an eye on Fuje for future articles about development and everything related to the Java world. Thanks a lot.
Give me a foo, give me a J, give me the friends of OpenJDK.